Intro music.
Overview narration. Overview narration.
Oh, doctor!
My name is Joey,
My name is James.
and oh boy, this is the Brothers Padre.
And ladies and gentlemen, I know we signed off our last episode saying see you next week. We did not expect to be here this soon. And honestly, we never thought we'd actually ever be here. I don't
Oh my goodness.
I don't know where to go.
James, after 8,205 games in Padres history, James, what happened?
Joe Musgrove, hometown legend, hometown hero, threw the Padres' first ever no-hitter. And just saying that, there's tears in my eyes.
We're not a
Something-
video podcast, but I got chills.
Yeah.
You can't see chills anymore on video, but I got chill.
Yeah, it was the greatest pitching. I've seen no hitters before. Obviously, the greatest Padre pitching I've ever seen up until this point. Andy Ashby took a perfect game until the seventh inning against the Braves. We were at that game, and that was it. Joe Musgrove. This is a no hitter that clearly is better than any no hitter I've ever seen.
It's so hard because just to backtrack a little bit, the Padres fandom is reeling a little bit right now. We're reeling. We called each other. We were both at our apartments. We call each other, and then it happens. Joe Musgrove faces his 28th batter. He grounds out to Ha-Seong Kim. Ha-Seong Kim throws a bullet to Jerickson Profar, and it's just the waterwork. I'm like, holy crud. I start crying in my living room. My wife is like, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Everything's right.
Everything. It just things like this don't happen to the Padres ever. We knew they were a good team. It's just to see them be good and see them do something they've never done before. I remember when Matt Kemp, I think it was 6 years ago, hit the first cycle, the Padres, and I was so excited. Oh, the first Padres cycle ever. That pales compared to a no-hitter. He only faced 28 batters.
Yes.
28 ups, 27 down. He grazed Gallo, who probably should have gotten out of the way, and that's the only guy he let on base.
I texted you at the fifth inning.
Yes.
And I said, when can we start talking about the thing that might be happening?
Let me grab the text so we can read them out to you. Let's see.
I texted you. I said, so the rule is you don't mention it unless it's after the sixth inning, which you say, I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you shouldn't mention it. And then you and I just start texting lots of eye emojis, lots of, let's say if anything happens, something happens, I don't know what could be happening, but I think it would warrant an emergency audio recording, which you said, maybe, because we don't want to be the ones that jinx it, James. But the thing is, we're obviously being coy. All Padres Twitter is being coy. No one wants to jinx it.
Yeah, there was a female reporter, I can't remember her name, she posted on Twitter, oh my God, Musgrove's pitching a no-hitter in the eighth inning. Everyone just respond, no, why would you do that? Oh.
What's interesting about watching this game, though, is Musgrove legit was dominant. This guy had that slider and curveball working so well. In the ninth inning, he's 100+ pitches. He's clearly, not clearly gassed, but he's tired.
He's tired.
But he's
on
still
the verge of
throwing
fumes.
frisbees. He's still throwing stuff with crazy breaking movement. And another thing I'm going to say, every no-hitter in Major League Baseball, they always say there's one great defensive play. There really wasn't.
No.
There were some hard liners that were caught, but there wasn't some some like there was good defense behind him. There was solid defense behind him.
Yes, but Machado never had to like throw on a knee or something.
Yeah, and I think they were just everyone did their job. Everyone, and even in the first inning, I remember this. I texted you. Musgrove's an athlete because they were playing the deep shift in like as Machado, Profar, and Kim were on the right side of the infield playing the deep shift because the outfield in Texas is enormous, and Joe Musgrove runs in and covers first because Profar was playing so much off the bat to catch the throw from Machado.
Yes.
It was just great defense. He got 10 Ks. I'm gonna read you the final line.
Let's recap the full game.
We don't. This is something that Padres fans assume we never get.
Yeah.
This is kind of like this is our penance. Oh, we'll never have a no hitter.
This is the Maltese Falcon. This is what's in the case of Pulp Fiction. This is the thing that we never thought. Other teams have gotten this. It's just. I am still at a loss for words, and it's been an hour since it happened.
The final line, James. San Diego Padres, 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Texas Rangers, 0 runs, 0 hits, and 1 error. James. Joe Musgrove pitched 9 innings. Never has he pitched 9 innings in his life. I'm sure he has, but not
in Major League Baseball. No, not as a
Through 112 pitches, a career high, 0 walks, which is incredible.
That's incredible.
I mean, it's just not a cheap no hitter. This is not some like the defense saved him a bunch. He get through 1 hit batsman to Gallo, and to be honest, Gallo's the best hitter on their team. So if you're gonna hit somebody, might as well someone.
He was clearly trying to back him off, and it didn't hit him hard. It grazed him.
Right. But 10 strikeouts, James. But of course, no hits through 9 innings.
And the Rangers never hit it to the warning track.
The best hit was to Myers. Was that seeing-eye like laser shot to Myers? I would say.
But like I'm saying, like they didn't have power against Musgrove. Nothing. Musgrove was so dominant; he shut down their entire offense.
Let's kind of go a little bit by inning. Not quite the early part, but the later part. I think it's really interesting. The 6th inning rolls around, and he's already near kind of like where he normally is at. The 7th inning rolls around, and this is where it gets interesting because the pride of Palomar College starts going up in the bullpen.
Yeah, Tim Hill was warming up.
And everyone's like, if Tingler pulls him, there was going to be riots in the streets in San Diego. Tingler will never be allowed back in. Everyone's going to be like, whenever Tingler gets to Texas, he just makes stupid decisions.
Tingler will never be able to eat another fish taco. There isn't a single place that would serve him in San Diego.
But I'm going to say something. Tingler did the exact right thing. He had a relief pitcher up in case things went bad.
Yeah, because
never take him out. Hill and then Pagan. And the 9th, it was Musgrove's ball.
Melanson had already been warming up. He was warm. He just wasn't pitching because everybody was glued to the eyes on Musgrove what he was doing.
I my wife just put my baby to bed, so we're watching it at the 7th inning, and I said this to her, like if he gets Gallo out here, I think he's gonna do it. Gallo's the best hitter on this team. Trevino has good bat to ball skills, so he can do a pesky hit. But the real threat for this game and for this no hitter will be Gallo. He got Gallo. I'm like, I think he's gonna do it. Like if his pitches stay this quality, and it was incredible the amount of pitches he threw, James, as I look it up, 100 out of 120 out of 112 pitches, 77 strikes. That gets it done, James.
That's incredible. That again, we saw next level pitching.
10 ground outs, James, 3 flyouts. That's incredible.
And the thing is,
oh man,
no matter what he does for the rest of his career, this is something pitchers will always have. He pitched a no hitter.
Oh yeah,
and just it. I believe you started Build a statue.
Yeah, build the statue. Come on. Just start building the statue right now. Like he's earned it. Just to back up too, a little context about him. We've talked about before. He's a hometown kid. He wears 44 because his favorite pitcher was Jake Peavy.
He wore 44 in high school when he pitched for Grossmont High. He grew up in El Cajon. He's a hometown boy. He's loved San Diego. I've heard he told the story about his first. He had a fake ID and got a tattoo. I think when he was 15 or 16 of a baseball with a San Diego SD on it, and his grandmother like threw something at him or something because they were so upset. This is a Padre fan through and through who happens to be tonight the best pitcher in baseball.
There's no way you look at this performance and be like, oh, this is a one-off. That's what I saw tonight too. Is like, not only was he dominant, but this is dominance based on like real skill and real grit. And you're absolutely right. This week, he's the best pitcher in baseball.
He's the best pitcher in baseball this week. And I'm going to call it right now. The Padres are going to go first 2 weeks best players, NL players of the week.
You think it's the Musgrove and Hosmer?
Musgrove has to be it. I haven't seen a single better player, any athletic feat in the National League this week.
The National League, yeah.
Yeah, well, National League Player of the Week. That's
Yeah.
Musgrove, definitely.
Yeah.
The second would be Carantini.
Speaking of Caratini, so this, James, you want to know something crazy?
Of course.
First off, Caratini was the deal in the Darvish trade. Yes. Caratini had incredible game calling skills this game. You could tell Musgrove's fastball was not working. He threw, I think at the eighth inning, he threw 8 four-seamers at that point.
Yeah.
So he was really not pushing that fastball. Well, I shouldn't say it wasn't working, but they're just like, this other stuff's working. So
they weren't using it as a dominant pitch. They were using it as a setup pitch because it couldn't be the dominant pitch. They were using his cutter. They like during the interview, at the end of the game, Musgrove said Canty said, we're just going to throw the cutter and the slider until you run out.
So, you know the last no-hitter before this one was in baseball?
No.
Alec Mills. You know what team Alec Mills was on?
No.
Chicago Cubs.
Oh.
Do you know what the catcher was on that no-hitter, James?
Was it? No way. Was it Carantini?
Victor Caratini has caught the last 2 no-hitters in baseball.
I have been nothing but impressed with this guy since the beginning of the season. I think he's the unsung hero of this game. Obviously, Musgrove, but Carantini called a great game. You could tell that he was commanding the pitches. I think Austin Nola might be the backup when he goes back up. Carantini's been swinging a hot bat, and he definitely knows how to call a game. It was incredible from start to finish.
I think you're absolutely right. We got to talk about 2 points in the game. One point in the game is, do you think that Ha-Seong Kim got himself picked off if Joe Musgrove got there sooner?
I absolutely think so. There's no doubt about it. Like, they were clearly, they can't let him sit too long. They can't let his arm get stale. Ha-Seong Kim, we know, can steal a base and has better base running skills than just, I'm ready now, and starts literally skipping down there. No, he definitely got picked off. So let's talk about it. And the Padres last at bat, Ha-Seong Kim was
top of the ninth.
Top of the ninth. He got a walk, I think.
Yeah. Very good at bat. Now the new Padres at bat.
Yes.
Fouls pitches off, gets his pitches, doesn't get his pitches, and walk.
I checked. I watched it. And it's true. So definitely the offense was in on it. They knew what was going on. They also knew to give him as much time as he wanted out there, but not super long.
Right.
The last pitcher threw 18 pitches that inning. The last Rangers pitcher threw 18 pitches in the last night. Padres last at bat. And Ha-Seong Kim comes up, and you could tell that Joe Musgrove was already standing up and doing his stretches, and then he walks, and so he sits back down. Then Ha-Seong Kim does this little flaily try to run to second and gets called out. It was 100%. We need to go to the next inning as soon as
Either
possible.
Wayne Kirby just lied to him. He's like, oh, this guy's a really weird move, you'll be able to steal off him or have something like, we gotta get this guy going.
Yeah, we can't let him freeze.
And I think the second thing we got to talk about, he threw a no-hitter, and this may seem inconsequential, against an AL team.
Yes.
He had to face, there was never a gimme out every 8 batters. You know, it's just, he faced now the Texas Rangers. Whatever.
Yes.
But
you could make the argument Texas Rangers aren't that good.
Yeah.
And we talked about in the last podcast, they're not a good team, but they're still major league ball players.
Oh yeah.
Pitching a no-hitter against any team is a feat.
Yeah. I think that pitching no-hitter against an AL team is much harder. And I think that the way he pitched it is, if there's a way to grade no-hitters and perfect games in the world of baseball, he's definitely B+, A-. Like this is top tier.
Well, yes, obviously perfect game is A+, but he pitched an A.
Yeah.
It was not an A- at all. It was a solid, because he just hit a guy. And if he didn't hit a guy,
the perfect game.
It was a perfect game. Absolutely. And legitimately, if the ball would have gone over an inch over away from Gallo, he would have gotten him out and it would have been a perfect game.
It really did. The last time I remember watching a Padres go deep was Jordan Lyles, for some weird reason, had a perfect game into the 7th inning. No disrespect to Jordan Lyles, but he did not deserve to have a perfect game into the 7th inning.
Yeah.
But watching Musgrove, you just saw this guy has legitimate stuff in his pitches, legitimate depth, and he just wasn't stopping. And then you saw him getting quick outs. And I one more thing, that one pitch out, I think when that one pitch out happened in the 8th, I bet you Tingler's like, it's his game.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Well, I think Tingler was going to let him pitch his way out of the game. And once the 7th inning came around, he had made sure there was a guy warmed up every inning. It was Musgrove's game to lose. He just had a backup in case a guy got a double. And so, all right, we can get you out now. I think by the 7th inning, he knew it was Musgrove was going to pitch until the end if he was keep going this way.
Absolutely incredible, James. Just I haven't experienced a Padres sports moment like that. Probably
I've never experienced.
Yeah, I'm thinking 98, maybe 2005, but nothing like that.
1998, when we went to the World Series, was fantastic, and I'll never forget it. But this was, we knew we could go to the World Series.
Yes.
For whatever reason, the no-hitter has just been hanging over the Padres' heads since 1969. We have not been able to do it.
Lest you forget, James, 8,205 games
Oh, I haven't forgotten.
without a no-hitter.
I'm well aware of it. I'm
very happy that Padres no-hitter, the Twitter account that always tweets every game, it's been 8,201, 2002. It's a funny account, but I'm glad he's not tweeting anymore.
glad he asked you. I wonder what that Twitter account's going to be like. Farewell. It's been fun.
Oh man, what a ball game! What a ball game, James.
And everybody, you just had the sense that everybody in the team was all right. We're doing this. We're going to get him to the 9th inning. Between every inning, you saw Cronenworth or Machado talking to Tingler, like they're going down strategy. They were narrowing down their strategy every game. They all know what the strategy is. They went to the pregame strategy session. They're doing it because, and you saw everyone talking to Rosenthal, the pitching coach. You saw him talking with everyone was narrowing down all the stats of where we need to be standing, where. Again, everyone know they all have it laminated in their hats or in the back pockets where they need to stand. But they were doing between every inning. They were so intent on getting this guy this no-hitter. It was so awesome. It was an amazing feat for the Padres.
We now have the moment that you see in every no-hitter in other teams, which is there's a guy, there's a dugout filled with 25 plus men, athletic men, but somehow there's this black hole of just no one's around except this one guy on the bench all by himself. Because everyone knows no one can talk to that guy.
Only one who could talk to that guy was Carantini.
Caratini, yeah.
And and Carantini walked up, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then that was the only guy who was allowed to talk to him. Nobody else talked to him.
Dude, imagine. Sorry, go ahead.
And then Musgrove said in the post-game interview, he didn't know he was pitching a no-hitter until the 6th inning. He just looked up and went, oh, I haven't given up a hit.
And the classic no-hitter pitcher thing, which is like, I didn't feel that good. I feel like every single pitcher is like, I didn't feel that good, and then they threw a no-hitter.
Yeah, he said he woke up funny, hurting, and just told Carantini, we're just gonna stick with the game plan. I don't know what else to do.
We gotta talk about Caratini again. Imagine being Victor Caratini and catching 2 no-hitters. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And then and to game plan it with Musgrove, really, really. I mean, this was a tactical. Like even Musgrove said, Dan, I was trying to get quick outs. I realized. I mean, you could tell what we all saw. He had great defenders all around him. He had an outfield that's size of Texas itself. So like he had fast people. Grish is back.
Could there be a better game for Grisham to come back? If Musgrove hadn't pitched a no-hitter and we just won a regular game, we would be talking about how great it was to have Grisham back. He was ignited. He was a spark plug.
Drag bunting, James.
Drag bunting. He was hopping and skipping and high-fiving everybody. He was so happy to be back. But really, he made a couple of plays out in the outfield. That's all he was. It was such a good time. Oh man, I can't. It's just still. This is nothing we ever thought about. We never thought was going to happen.
And just what? So James, little inside baseball to our lives. We aren't the only brothers to each other.
No,
there's other brothers that we're also brothers to.
There are currently, hopefully, 4 brothers Padres.
One of them called me, and he was like, "What a crazy start to the season! It's game 8, and all of a sudden, the first Padres no-hitter happens in like Padres history." And he's absolutely right. Like this is when you think about the season and what the expectations were. This is such it makes me so excited, but also it's just like, this is why baseball is incredible, right? This is a kid who idolized the Padres, loved playing the game of baseball, really is like a gamer, and the city that's been really, 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 for lack of a better way of saying it, like been deprived of great athletic feats and deprived of the joy of society with sports. And all of a sudden you see this guy who suffered with the city for so long, and he's the one that brings it. In the interview, he full on said, it hasn't hit me yet. And I bet you tomorrow he's gonna be like, what?
No, it's going to hit him his first pitching when his next start in San Diego.
Oh, dude, people are going to go
I'm just
crazy.
Literally tearing up thinking, number 44, Joe Musgrove.
Dude,
everyone
people are going to go
him.
Crazy for him. Oh,
and I haven't been downtown since the season started. They've got to put a banner up there for him.
Yeah, you got to do something.
Just name the freeway after. They can name the 163 after. Name that freeway after the Joe Musgrove Freeway, the Joe Musgrove no-hitter freeway. Oh man.
There's one negative about this, James, is that he's now become more expensive to sign for an extension. But that's okay. I think this is awesome. My friend Andrew posted this. He said, "It's such a poetic game. We spend to get Clevenger, to get Snell and Darvish, and some guy from Grossmont pitches the no-hitter." He's not some guy from Grossmont. But
from Grossmont. What is his family's coffee shop's name?
I don't know.
Let's Google that right now. I think we also need to acknowledge one more hero. Did you see what Hugh Darvish did to the beginning of this game?
I saw him give a big huge hug to Musgrove.
So, beginning of this game, apparently Joe Musgrove grew up, his family owned a coffee shop in El Cajon, and he grew up going a coffee shop / diner, and he's a huge coffee snob. Apparently he's like one of the biggest coffee connoisseurs in all of baseball. Hugh Darvish got him a pair of Nikes.
I did see
that
that.
have coffee beans all over it.
That's right.
Different shades of different coffee beans all over it.
Is that the reason why?
And Musgrove tweeted out, look at these cool our Instagram, look at these cool kicks that Darvish gave me today.
It's Cafe Adesso is Joe Musgrove's coffee shop in Alpine, James.
Alpine, okay.
Just so far east, you just forget where those cities.
Yeah.
Once
you're past the
once you're past
the 76, it's like now over there.
Yeah.
Of course, they probably think the same way about us when we grew up off the 78.
Probably.
Oh man!
But James, what a moment in Padres history, man. I
would say let's go get a cup of coffee tomorrow at that cafe, but I'm pretty sure the line will be around.
Oh my goodness, dude, Joe Musgrove. There's no way he's not. He's royalty now.
Yeah.
He is San Diego sports royalty. There's no way else around it. He's the
Hall
guy.
of Champions. Build a corner for him right now.
It's absolutely awesome, James. Man, so let's look at this up. Is his next start going to be in Pittsburgh?
It will be, yes.
Well, that's awkward.
No, the Pittsburgh fans understand that they suck, and they're going to be very happy for him. I guarantee you they're going to cheer for him.
Well, that was cool. That's really cool. That's the cool thing about why I also love like having fans in the stands is because when no hitter happens, you kind of don't become the fan of that team anymore.
Yeah.
Because you see what you're watching history. You're watching one of the more rare things in sports. And it was awesome just seeing the crowd just like, oh, this is pretty cool. And like you saw the random Potter fans that were there that just like were dancing.
Yes.
Like you and I were anxious balls of, just like anxiety or like, ah. And it was just cool to see everyone come together and see someone do something that's so awesome. Yeah, so the next game he's going to pitch, James, is going to be in Pittsburgh, and then he'll face
the Pirates.
Yeah. Well, so he's saying Pittsburgh, but I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be the Dodgers on Sunday or Milwaukee. Regardless, when he comes home, you're absolutely right. People are going crazy for it.
They're going to go crazy for him.
James.
This.
Wow. I still can't believe it, James. I still can't believe.
And for those new Padre fans out there.
Oh my gosh.
The no-hitter was like the sword of Damocles over the Padres' heads for so long. How many times?
The sword of Damocles.
Yes, every Mark Grant, the first hit of every game has been, well, there goes a no-hitter. There goes a no-hitter because he wants to see a no-hitter. And, oh my goodness, Ted Leitner retired this year. The one thing he wanted to do was call a no-hitter for the Padres.
I think he's stoked watching it.
Of course, I'm so glad that he was able to see it. This was the thing that I am going to call it right now, Joey. All right? Last year, we were in Texas. Slam Diego kicked us off and put a fire on us. I think this is going to put a fire on us. This is proven that we are the best team in baseball now. We are going to live up to it. It truly was a great moment. A moment I have been waiting for since I found out what a no-hitter was. The Padres had never had one when I was 6 or something.
It's absolutely awesome, James. Yes, James, I think... I mean, I'm trying to articulate the feeling I had when it happened, and we've tried this whole podcast already to convey it. But it's one of those things where you don't realize you're so invested in what's ultimately in life just kind of like a silly thing. Like sports are just kind of a silly thing, but it's also it's like beautiful. Like it Joe Musgrove throwing it was just so like people. The famous phrase, "How can you not be romantic about baseball?" Because these sorts of things kind of happen.
Yeah.
And when those things happen, I always cry. Like I don't know. These special magical baseball moments, they always get to me. This
is why baseball movies are always the best. I'm sorry. Rudy is okay, all right? Other than that, it's all baseball movies that are the best sports movies. Because there's just so much built-in romance with baseball. You can't tell... This is a movie moment. Here's this kid who grew up in East County. His family owned a local coffee shop. He went to Grossmont High. Trevor Hoffman was a coach of his, because he was in such like a good little junior league. Tony, do you know the Tony Gwynn story with Joe Musgrove?
While we're talking, I'm looking at all the people are posting tons of stories. Like I'm
pretty sure everyone's like.
There's a photo of him with Adrian Gonzalez as an all-star from Grossmont High on Petco Park, on the field Petco Park. It's just absolutely crazy.
I posted a meme that I made of Joe Musgrove with a Art of War quote. And a friend of mine, I've had 3 friends post on it. Oh, I met him once in a pub. I met him at RB. I went to his family's coffee shop.
Oh my gosh.
Right before he was drafted into Major League Baseball, he had a scholarship to UCSD. And he met with the then UCSD head coach, Tony Gwynn. And he asked, should I go to college or not? And Tony Gwynn said, if you're drafted into Major League Baseball, that means they think you have Major League Baseball stuff, and you should do that. And he did it. So he could have, if he wasn't drafted, he would have been in UCSD under Tony Gwynn. And he met Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn gave him advice. This guy is so San Diego baseball. It's insane.
So since we've started this podcast, they've interviewed some more. Joe Musgrove has said he drank a dozen bottles of water tonight. He had a pee so bad in the 4th or 5th inning, but couldn't do it. He said his family are probably all in tears. He said that he couldn't praise Caratini enough. Musgrove said that he was like a scientist looking ahead to calculate what hitters they had to be more aggressive with and how to be more efficient. And once again, this is the second time Caratini has caught no hitter. Man, what a night, James. A night.
A night to remember. The Padres are for real. Our number 3 pitcher just threw a no-hitter.
Oh, my goodness.
That's how good our team is.
And the mea culpa on me, of course, is that last episode I said, I got after you. Like, wait, you say Musgrove's our true ace? Look, I'll have my 3rd helping of humble pie in the past 48 hours.
How does that taste?
Humble.
Kind of like vanilla.
Well, folks, man, you have... I'm going to... MLB is probably going to block my IP address because I'm going to watch the replay of this game so much.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch... someone's going to make a mass edit all 27 outs. I'm going to watch that video a bunch. Man, I can't wait to just like look back at this. It's just awesome.
Truly,
awesome.
One of the greatest sports moments of my life. Truly. And with that, I think we'll see. Unless something else happens.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I texted you. I texted you the 7th inning. I said, hey, maybe we probably should do a podcast afterwards.
Yes.
And here it is. But folks, thank you so much for listening. Next week, we'll back to our normal scheduled weekly recap for week 2.
Yes.
Which we'll also recap this game.
Yeah.
Not in this much detail.
We have to, because you just can't not talk about a no-hitter twice. We're going to talk about this no-hitter all season long.
You're going to be sick of it. You're going to be sick. We're not going to be sick of it.
I'm already looking to see if it's on a hat. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all the things.
Follow us on Twitter at Brothers Padre. And we'll see you guys next week.
Go Padres.
Ground ball to shortstop. Kim will go to first. The San Diego Padres get their first no-hitter in the history of the franchise. And it belongs to San Diego's own Joe Musgrove, sending the Friar faithful into a frenzy.